First of all, I'd like to start my testimony by thanking you for passing the minimum wage last year from $8 to $9. And I think that you can see from one of the fact sheets that I'm passing out the impact that had. Directly impacted approximately 30,000 Rhode Island workers and raised pay in Rhode Island cumulatively of $41.5 million that was put into the Rhode Island economy and added $26.2 million to the Rhode Island's GDP. I think that this is one of the most important things that this General Assembly has done and can continue to do to deal with the issue of income equality in our country and in our state. You are putting money into workers' pockets. Those workers now have increased purchasing power. They can now spend that money in the Rhode Island economy, and they can help the small business economy. Now, it was mentioned that our minimum wage has gone up 3 years in a row. I would also argue that our unemployment rate has gone down 3 years in a row. And in fact, our unemployment rate is considerably better than it had been in the last 4 years. So I guess I could make an argument that it was because of the minimum wage, but that would be what some people do on the other side by saying it goes up when the minimum wage increases. So obviously, both of those arguments are not the only reason why an economy improves. But I think it's clear that when you put money into people's pockets who live in our community and are not going to take that money and spend it outside of Rhode Island, but spend it in the Rhode Island economy, it benefits everybody. So I think that what you've done is you've started on a effort to do this. I would also suggest that one of the things that has happened in this General Assembly over the last several years is that we have been trying to be competitive with our neighbors. I've heard that on the high end on the tax issues as justification for lowering our corporate tax and for lowering our top-level income tax because we want to be competitive, particularly with our neighbors, Connecticut and Massachusetts. We are finally at the lower level, the lower income levels, competitive and equal to Mass and Connecticut. And so now you have a situation with the minimum wage. I think it's 10 cents higher in Connecticut, but it's $9, maybe $9.10 in Connecticut, $9 in Mass. However, both Connecticut and Massachusetts have already passed legislation that their minimum wage is going up to $10 in January of 2016. So I think if we're going to use that argument to be competitive, let's be competitive at the top level and let's be competitive at the lower income level so that everybody is treated with some economic fairness. We have some real serious issues in this country with income equality, and Rhode Island, unfortunately, is one of the worst states in terms of the gap. And so this is another way of helping to close that. And in closing, I would just like to mention that I was asked, Kate Brewster was here earlier. She signed up, and she just wanted me to call your attention to one statistic that she had in her handout, which is that the Rhode Island Standard of Need study that they do suggests that in order to have a decent standard of living, you need about $11.86 an hour. And in closing, I also want to mention that I've also been asked to say that the Rhode Island Building Trades Construction Council also supports this legislation. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I would ask you to continue on the crusade that you've started to raise the income for the lower income people of our state. And again, we appreciate what you've done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nee. Does the committee have any questions? Representative Giarrusso.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. Mr. Nee, thank you very much. Has there been an economic impact study done on this? Like, has anyone gone throughout the state and say, okay, if we do this, this is what's going to happen?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, the reason I ask is because, you make a compelling argument that we raised the minimum wage the past 2 sessions.
3.
And 3 sessions,
yeah.
Sorry. And our unemployment numbers have gotten better, but we're still lagging with the national average.
That's correct.
And there are a lot of states that actually are better now than they were before the recession started, and we're still way down there.
We still are, correct.
So I think we're probably raising by osmosis or whatever the case might be, but I'm not really sure if there's a good argument for minimum wage being one of those things that cause the unemployment rate to go up.
Well, again, I guess it's a philosophical difference from our perspective, from the labor community. We feel that the more you can increase workers' wages and their purchasing power, it benefits the whole economy. We've tried it the other way, and look at the mess we've got into in a lot of states and in our country where we took care of the people at the top and we forgot about the people at the bottom. That hasn't worked very well. It's taken us a long time to get out of that mess.
Now, is there a reason why 10-10? Is that a magic number? I mean, if 10-10 is good, then wouldn't 20-20 be better?
Well, it would be, obviously, but I guess I don't want to be considered unreasonable. So I think that's a reasonable figure. And in this stage, in our case right now, we're looking at maintaining some competitiveness with our neighboring states, and that's where they are. So, but I don't think it's a magic figure.
Thank you, Mr. Nee.
Thank you, Representative. Are there any further questions? Representative McKiernan.
Mr. Nee, I'm looking at the handout, and which you cited. Directly impacted 30,000 workers, increased pay by 41.5 million, and added over 26.2 million to the Rhode Island GDP. Where did that information come from?
That came from a study that was done by the Economic Policy Institute nationally. They had a study recently. It's called 20 States Raise the Minimum Wage While the Federal Minimum Wage Continues to Erode. And it's by the National Employment Labor Project.
Okay, I see it at the bottom. Thank you.
Thank you,
I've learned
Representative.
over the years, even this fact-checking stuff is something that you got to pay attention to now.